Hello, Patreon. My name is Chelsea, or Radio, whatever you prefer. This is my first video blog, so it's going to be a little rough around the edges, but we can get through together, and hopefully can share some knowledge. So I would like to address my most asked questions that I get, which is how I travel, how I afford to travel, why I travel, how it is traveling alone as a female, yada yada yada. So let's talk about savings. So I'm obsessed with finances and saving money. I will have these chunks of the year where I am working 3 or 4 jobs just to save to travel, and then I'll take 6 months off and see how far that chunk of money gets me, pretty much. I make sure that my bills are to an absolute minimum. My cost of living needs to be as low as possible for me to save this money. And I like juggling multiple disposable jobs, is what I call them. You know, I did go to school and I did have a career type job for about 5 years, and it wasn't helping me get where I want to be in life, right now at least. And so, for instance, I did a around the world trip last year, and the majority of that money came from me delivering pizzas at Pizza Hut. And, you know, as a 26-year-old going on, 27 soon, being a Pizza Hut delivery girl is not something I aspire to do, but saving money to go to Egypt and South Africa definitely is. And it's nice because a lot of, career type jobs, or the job that I had in the past, would never let me leave for 6 months at a time or 3 months at a time. And, if I save enough money and I plan my trip and I go to my disposable job and say, hey, I need this time off, and they say, I'm sorry, we can't do that, then I have no problems just giving in my 2 weeks notice and peacing out, because I'm not an aspiring cocktail waitress or a pizza delivery girl or hostess or whatever other jobs that I have. I also have a job for each big goal I have going on at the time. It's constantly changing, but for instance, this year I have bills. I just recently moved to Portland. I have rent and car insurance and a phone bill, which is roughly $650. So I'm responsible for $650 a month at the minimum. So I had a job just for that. I needed a new car. My old car I've had forever. I've driven across country a bunch. I lived in it for a while. It just wasn't doing very well, and it was falling apart. So I got a job just to save up for a car. And then I also went to Alaska this summer, so I had a third job for that. I like having multiple jobs. I don't like putting all my eggs in one basket. Sometimes, depending on the type of where you work or the season or even what city you live in, cocktail waitressing, I could make money for months and it will be dead at my other job, where pizza delivering, as an example, hypothetical. And then vice versa. I like that some businesses are slow or busy compared to other, if I just worked one job consistently, as much as possible, I'm kind of at the mercy of how busy that job is. Or if I want to travel and, 2 of my jobs tell me I can't take that time off, and one does, then I'm not completely unemployed when I get back. I still have that one job. And, it's just nice to not have that stress also of a 9 to 5. A lot of people have those types of jobs that they bring home their work. And there's definitely not stressing about cocktail waitressing or Pizza Hut or whatever, when I come home. And I can travel, in between work days and go camping or, bicycle from Seattle to Portland if I wanted to, and, never get a phone call about something that's going on at work. So sorry, I got sidetracked a little bit. So pulling it back, I like to have several jobs, based on the goals. I also really, really enjoy jobs that I get tipped. I like that hourly wage just goes straight to my bank account and it goes straight into savings. It's another little nest egg that I have. And then I actually really enjoy visually seeing the money that I'm saving. So I have several mason jars on my desk at home that are labeled phone bill, rents, Alaska, for instance, was one of them. Like now it's a country of some sort, I'm sure. And when I go home, like, I love that feeling of working hard all day and dealing with these jerks that, you know, I serve at some bar that I work at. But it's just satisfying to sit and just count that money out and just divvy money into those drawers. And physically see it fill up with 10s and 20s and 100s, you know. At the same time, like, it's a different environment all the time. You know, it's not that same mundane thing. And like I said, if I didn't like one of those jobs, I would just leave it, because I'm not an aspiring cocktail waitress. And I still have those, you know, safety nets of other jobs. But, you know, as soon as I complete a goal, a lot of times I get rid of a job too. I've had a lot of jobs in the past few years. As soon as I, you know, saved enough money to buy a new car, I kicked one of my jobs to the curb, and I went down to 2 jobs. But that doesn't work for everybody. It's just a system that works for me, and, you know, I actually enjoy it for a lot of those reasons. But yeah, so saving. I'm constantly saving. I'm constantly conscious of what's more important, you know, this new thing, or putting that money in my traveling jar and going to Australia quicker, or Patagonia faster, or yada yada yada. So and I always am a big advocate of only having what you can carry. So everything that I own fits into my car, except my bed, pretty much. My room is very bare minimal. It's just a few clothes, pretty much, and I have my computer at most. So whenever I buy something new, I donate something old out and constantly keep that flow. It's just the more things that you acquire, I feel more stressed. I feel like I have more responsibilities. I rent month to month now, so if I wanted to move and live in a completely different state, I don't want that stress of how am I going to bring these material items with me. I know everything I own fits in my car, and I could leave in a day. Constantly, you know, keeping, you know, not trying to be weighed down by, you know, people or things at all. So right now, this is kind of like the system that I've been doing, is low cost of living, trying to make as much income as I can through disposable jobs that I can juggle, that I'm never stressed about, or feel like I'm restricted from going places because I can't get time off, or things like that. Basically, I'm an aspiring traveler, and anything that gets in the way of that is not important to me. But it's also a selfish lifestyle at the same time, and it's not for everybody. But you can also relate what I'm saying to smaller trips. If you have a career job that you absolutely love, but you're reaching these you're living paycheck to paycheck. Like, you can totally find some disposable job, try it out, and save money to go on a trip and just get rid of it. Like, I feel like some people don't think about that, or they're too prideful to be in your mid to late 20s, 30s and delivering pizza. But I am really proud of the fact that me delivering pizzas at Pizza Hut for 6 months paid for the majority of my around the world trip. I think it's kind of funny, and I actually had fun doing that job. I wouldn't be opposed to doing it again. But okay, so away from, you know, savings and money and finances and stuff like that, let's move on to traveling in general. So a lot of the places that I pick are based off of the exchange rate. So I travel to countries that the US dollar is stronger in. Like, for example, last year I went to Thailand. I think I was there for about 2 weeks, spent about $150, $200. I did a bunch of cooking classes. I traveled around to where they filmed a lot of the temples where they filmed the old Mortal Kombat movie. I wasn't really worried about it too much. I still at the same time am conscious about money while I'm there. I'd rather, you know, get in and out of the country in as little, using as little money as possible, so I can save money for future trips or the next place I'm going. But I travel cheaply. I hitchhike a lot, which is not for everybody, and it's definitely not for every country. There's most countries I would not hitchhike in. I've been really lucky in a lot of places I've been. I felt comfortable hitchhiking. I also use couchsurfing.com a lot. It's not for everybody, but I've had really good experiences with it. I hitchhike, like I said. Hostels are always good to meet people from other countries. So, you know, I've made a friend in Poland that lives in Australia, and I'm trying to go visit them early next year. So I have a free place to stay. I have a free guide. If they ever came to Portland, then they would have the same thing, and it's kind of this nice network of travelers or people that you've met. And a lot of times, like, I'll have a friend hit me up and be like, hey, do you know anyone in this country? And I might know a Suicide Girl there, or I might know somebody that I met at a hostel in whatever country, you know, that can help out a friend of a friend, pretty much. But overall, I pinch pennies as much as possible. There's been countless times I've slept in bus stops or at the airport, couch surfing, hitchhiking. I've rented bicycles because it was cheaper to get from one place to another. So I also use social media to travel a lot. A lot of times will throw up questions like, I'm in this country, where should I go? I'm in this country, does anyone else live here? Can I stay on your couch? You know, can I hitch a ride, etc., etc. And I understand that's doesn't necessarily work for everybody, and I have a decent sized demographic of people, because I am really interested in social media branding and networking like that. Like, it's a very interesting time to live in, and everybody's connected if you know, put yourself out there. And that's why I don't post a lot of photos of myself or my modeling. I mean, I do, but that's not what I'm trying to attract. I appreciate people who appreciate my modeling or me in general, but it's more fulfilling to get compliments on my traveling photography or adventures. And it's also the type of people that come to my Instagram page for that are the type of people that always lend a hand if I'm in their country. Alright, so that's pretty much it. Thank you so much for being a patron of my Patreon. If you have any questions that I didn't answer, please, please, please message me. I would love to start making more video blogs of the frequently asked questions, and anything else I will just write you back if it's something personal. No problem. I'm also going to add on to the end of this video a segment that I filmed for something completely different, but it basically is a little behind the scenes of what I did to my car to make it really comfortable to live in when I'm traveling locally around the US. So thank you again for watching. I appreciate it so much. I promise I'll get better at these. Also have some really good blogs coming up. I have a blog that I'm writing about Iceland and how I thought I had scabies in Iceland. Long story. I'm not going to spoil it, but I'll let you know. And then after Iceland is Poland and my visit to Auschwitz. So thank you again so much. I appreciate it so much. I can't say it enough. I hope you have a good morning, afternoon, or evening, whatever pertains to you, and I'll see you again soon in another vlog. Alright, so here's the structure, easy to put in, and you can see I have tons of space to put my camping gear, food, supplies, anything like that. And then this, I put little sleeping pads in there if I want to get fancy, but if not, just a little sleeping bag. I can climb right in here and comfortably fit all the way. And sometimes I'd probably sleep with it open, just like this, or also comfortably shuts and fits perfect. And I can even reach my side compartments through access of my door. And that's about it.